Hello everyone and welcome to Starladder Starseries Season 5, Day number 3. We're going to have Mousesports going up against DD Dota.
10 seconds.
Mousesports taking up the dire side. They're going to have second pick, and that leaves DD on the Radiant with first pick. Looking for their first pick ban out here now. Heading into reserve time. A little bit surprising to see that on the first ban. There are so many heroes that pretty much just get banned out every game, and you just kind of have to guess. You'd think they would have had the time before a game to really think about their first ban. But they're going to take it, and eventually they end up saying, we don't want to play against this. Let's get rid of the Keeper of Light. Get him out of that pool. I don't want to get hit by light and horses all game. And honestly, I can't say I blame them. No one really likes playing against Ezreal. And I don't really like watching Ezreal, so happy to see him gone. Mousesport's going to quickly respond by removing the Bat Rider. Powerful hero in terms of positional play. We all know how important positioning is in Dota 2, and I guess Dota 1 as well. Dota in general. Being able to pull heroes out of position, even through BKB, and get them into the middle of their team where they can get taken out very quickly. It's just so important in these games.
Mousesports turn to ban.
DD now gonna take out Wisp for their second and final ban of this first banning phase. Wisp, we saw his power last game, just the global pressure. Being able to port in, bring another hero with him potentially, and the damage from those spirits always seems a little bit higher than I really expect.
10 seconds remaining.
They're gonna choose to take out that Wisp. And now Mousesports thinking about their last ban of the first season, or first banning phase, and they're gonna take out the Magnoceros, that guy with the big old horn on his face. He's getting out of the pool. Don't want to deal with his team fight power, and not really sure necessarily what Mousesports are gonna want to be doing this game, but they probably don't want to get hit by reverse polarity with their carries and get killed before they can really let Black do his thing, deal a bunch of damage in these fights. DD now looking for their first pickup, and they're going to choose to take the Nyx Assassin, who makes it through this banning phase. Nyx Assassin, obviously one of those heroes that almost is always getting first picked or banned in the first phase nowadays, just because he's such a powerful support hero. Teams are seeming happier and happier to play against him when compared to the Keeper of the Light, who seems to be the hero no one really wants to deal with as of late. They're going to choose to take that Nyx Assassin as their first pick, and Mousesports very, very quickly going to choose to pick up the Darkseer and the Gyrocopter.
5 seconds remaining.
And so with that Darkseer and Gyrocopter pickup, getting a lot of really powerful AoE here. Their lanes are also really open with heroes like Gyrocopter and Darkseer, who are both really capable of laning in a variety of roles. I think we've been seeing Fada on Mousesports mostly playing Gyrocopter in that solo mid range or solo mid capacity, and we'll see if that's how they end up going here. That probably mean that their last 3 picks are all going to be tri-lane heroes, since Darkseer is almost certainly going to want to be in a solo lane of his own, and that leaves him the off lane.
Tinker.
DD now thinking about their second and third pick. They're going to choose to take up that Tinker. With the second pick, thinking a little bit longer now, trying to figure out what they want to do for the third. Tinker, a hero we don't see too often nowadays, but very powerful with his global presence. But once he gets those boots of travel, as well as having the rearm ability to just keep refreshing the boots of travel, teleport around the map, drop a bunch of March of Machines, and really can be terrible to try and push into with all the March of Machine spam. And the third pick from DD gonna be Nature's Prophet, so a lot of global presence now coming out from DD. With the Nature's Prophet and the Tinker, both able to teleport into lanes well past towers. And Nyx Assassin gonna be able to sneak behind enemy lines with that Vendetta. So we'll see what they're gonna try and do here. But this is pretty aggressive global strat now coming out from DD. Mousesports using their third and final pick of this first picking phase to pick up Animage, just picking a hard carry for Black, giving him some farm. Gonna try and probably run a 4 protect 1 strat, Where black just sits and farms until eventually he wins the game because he's just way out of control.
Radiant team banned.
Heading into this second banning phase now, we're going to start seeing the bans come out pretty quickly. DD don't have a lot of reserve time left, so they got to ban pretty quickly here, so they have time to think about their last two picks. And they're going to choose to take out Undying as well as Shadow Demon with their first two picks. Obviously,
Team banned.
going towards tri-lane supports that they aren't going to want to deal with. Undying, pretty annoying to deal with, especially if you're trying to push quickly with heroes like Tinker or Nature's Prophet. Undying just really great at turtling with that Tombstone. Sits there, spawns zombies, creates a mess of all sorts of fights. And Shadow Demon really great for defensive play in a tri-lane with a hero like Animage. Mousesports for their first two bans going to take out Lycanthrope as well as Lone Druid. So these are heroes that are really great at pushing and kind of usually played in a type of carry role. Lycan we don't see too often anymore, but he can be picked up. You can still jungle with him. It's a lot harder. It takes a lot more patience and practice to really get good at it, but you can still play him.
Mousesports.
And
turn to ban.
also going to be banning out the Lone Druid. We saw him last game with his pushing power. They don't want to let DD have too many more powerful pushing heroes. Otherwise, the Animage is definitely not going to come online before DD is able to just take all their towers. Last two bans, DD's first is Enchantress, taking out just a powerful, aggressive jungler here. And Mousesports going to choose to take out the Rubik. So both teams just taking out supports. Both teams probably looking for supports at the moment. With DD not really having a carry of their own at the moment. We'll see if they even actually go for a carry. And DD are going to pick up Enigma here. Enigma, a really powerful hero for pushing in his own right. Being able to summon those Eidolons, they do really good damage early on. You can use it to actually just kill one of the enemy creeps as they're approaching. And with the Black Hole, just the team fight power that can come out from him is incredible. So that's what they're going to choose here. And now Mousesports sitting here thinking about what they want to go for. Still have all of their reserve time, so they're not in any rush. But pretty much expecting to see them pick up some support heroes. We've been seeing them run the Silencer as a support hero on Kurokai. So it might not be too bad here. Having that global silence is always useful against an Enigma. If he gets that black hole off anywhere, the sensor can disrupt it from anywhere as long as he doesn't get caught in the black hole. No BKB will save him from that. And still thinking about now what they want to go for. Do need some supports though, something that can protect this Animage, as well as kind of turtle their towers. Looking at the lineup from DD, they have to definitely be concerned about any sort of really powerful pushing come out from them at the moment. DD don't even necessarily need to go for a hard carry. Maybe just being resigned to the fact that if the game goes late, they're probably going to lose to Animage anyways. So we'll see what they end up going for, but Mousesports really digging into their reserve time, trying to figure out where to go from here. And thinking away. It's also possible they could run Gyrocopter as a support hero. He's not a super powerful support hero with Animage. Gyrocopter, I think, typically going to get run in the more aggressive tri-lanes, and obviously Animage, far more defensive a hero, but Mousesports eventually going to decide to go with the Axe. So a hero we're seeing more and more often, surprisingly, in the competitive scene. And a hero that would have been completely out of the question, I think, only a few weeks ago. But they are going to pick Axe. Lovingly referred to as the King of Beards. And we'll probably see him in the jungle, hanging out, getting that farm.
5 seconds
And he's pretty powerful in these team fights. If he can get a little bit of farm, grab a Blink Dagger, get a little tanky. Blinks in, uses the Berserker's Call, gets people stuck on fighting him, and eventually just using that Culling Blade to get a kill off. And DD gonna choose Luna as their last pick, saying that they will pick up a farming carry of their own, but of course gonna go for the one that is pretty much the best at pushing, second to maybe only a Lone Druid, and end up choosing the Luna. So with the Luna and all of these summons that are going to come out from Nature's Prophet and Enigma, That aura is going to lead to a lot of damage, and towers are probably just going to get shredded. We'll see
10
how
seconds
quickly they
remaining.
decide to start trying to go for pushes in 5-man Dota. But Mousesports at the
5
moment don't seem
seconds
like they
remaining.
really have a great way of dealing with it. The axe can, to some extent, clean up minions, but he might just die as soon if there are any heroes
5
around. And
seconds
if
remaining.
DD are pushing his 5, you gotta assume there's going to be at least a few heroes around. They're going to go with Venge, actually, as their last pick. Another hero we really don't see very often in the competitive scene anymore. Venge, pretty powerful hero with her aura, has a decent stun. It's kind of quite generic, just a targeted stun. Does a little bit of damage, stuns for a little while. Has a moderately low cooldown. Her ultimate with the swap provides some good positional play. Might be able to pull a couple of the heroes from DD out of position. We'll see if they end up being able to get some good swaps off. Or if they're just going to do something a little trickier and maybe have the Venge run into fights and then swap the axe in. So we can't get crowd controlled before he gets into the fight.
With me.
And I forgot to turn free camera on. We'll turn that on real quick for you guys.
Prepare for battle.
So we don't have to deal with the directed camera bringing me all over the map, not doing anything useful. So we'll go over the players and who they're playing. We have Kurokai on the axe, hanging out with his helmet. Alex taking up the Vengeful Spirit, Black on the role as carry, and playing Animage. That leaves Fada on the Gyrocopter, and finally Paz taking up the Darkseer. Finally, we're going to have on DD's side, Link taking up Luna, Funzy on the Nature's Prophet, Bugging Mad on the Enigma, Crit taking up Nyx Assassin, and that leaves Sakshka
30 seconds to battle.
on the Tinker. Gyro's going to be running mid lane. Fata plays Gyro in the mid lane. We'll see how DD want to lane this. If they're going to just leave Funzy up here, he's probably just going to end up in the jungle. Negative 120 BT. That means you'll pick... reverse mode. I don't know what's going on. There's a pause and a little bit of talking in all chat. Vlog gets involved. I think they're making jokes at each other. But this looks like Nature's Prophet is going to be left in the solo lane. I would expect him to just head into the jungle if that's the case. He's not going to get anything if he tries to hang out against this Animage tri-lane. Regen Rune does spawn the top lane. It looks like Alex is just going to pick it up on his Vengeful Spirit. Doesn't want to leave it there. So we're going to have Tinker soloing mid. It's going to be up against the Gyrocopter. We'll see how that ends up working. Buckyman the Enigma is jungling. That leaves Luna with the Nyx Assassin in this bottom lane. Nyx Assassin just going to try and zone the Darkseer out of lane for as long as possible. So Animage is pretty much just going to be left completely uncontested to his farm in this top lane. Darkseer trying to do something to stop the Luna, excuse me. Luna should remain relatively unaccosted as well in her respective safe lane. Especially if the Nyx Assassin is hanging out, trying to pull and zone him out of the lane as much as possible. Looks like Nature's Prophet is stealing a creep wave here. Sox just hitting Fada with a laser, taking a little bit of harass from the Rocket Barrage. I think Rocket Barrage is mostly being used there trying last hit while the laser debuff was on, giving that 100% miss chance. Kurokai just jungling here, trying to get some farm up on the axe so we can start roaming, utilizing that battle hunger. It's trying to just harass and maybe get some ganks off. This middle lane now is really where it looks like most of the action is going to be going on for the moment, since the other lanes aren't really being contested too much. Funzy, with that creep wave that he managed to pull back, leads to the creep equilibrium being much closer to his tower. He's going to feel safe enough to get a little bit of farm here. Probably isn't too concerned about getting killed by just the Vengeful Spirit either. But if that axe roams around, we'll have to be slightly more careful.
Haste.
Pot's going to find a haste rune on the Darkseer. He's going to utilize this time to just punch Enigma a little bit and then get away just before that stun is able to go off from the Nyx Assassin. Unfortunately, Enigma looks like his Eidolons are going to time out before he's able to get this kill. Stomp is on cooldown though on that Centaur, so he will be able to finish that one off. Darkseer up to level 2, so he does have Surge now. Haste Rune working wonders for him, allowing him to get much closer to the creep wave. It's like he always has Surge on. Running in and out, getting some experience, casting a couple Ion Shells so he can get a little bit of money. Kurokai on the axe does have his Tranquil Boots finished now, so he'll be able to jungle a lot faster with that. Venge continuing to pull. Black doing decent on farm. He's up to 1,000 gold. Getting the best of the last hitting in the game thus far. Axe actually out farming the Enigma a little bit. Pretty surprising to see. Maybe Enigma just getting punished a little bit by the trying to fight with the Darkseer just a tad. Trying to contest that rune and falling behind a little bit in that sense, but still doing pretty well. And he's continuing to farm. He's up to 1,200 gold. We'll see if he just rushes the Battle Fury. With his basically completely uncontested farm here, I'd be pretty surprised if he doesn't. Funzy taking a bit of harass here, though. It looks like he will go down. Nope, does barely survives. Just barely surviving. Manages to salve up under the tower. Black doesn't have boots picked up yet, so wasn't able to keep up to get those last couple hits in. And it looks like he's going to be able to get the rune from the top lane and make sure that the gyrocopter isn't able to pick that up there. Tinker still has a couple bottle charges left, so he's more concerned about not losing the rune to the gyrocopter than getting it for himself at the moment. And with that, Funzy going to head back to this top lane on his Nature's Prophet. Just use the illusions to attack Black a little bit. They're not going to really do too much damage. Real hero shows up, gets a couple hits of his own in.
Denied.
Black up to 1471, decides to pick up his Ring of Health. So we probably will see him going for that Battle Fury. It's unlikely that he would go for Vanguard. Most players don't do that anymore. Tinker getting close to enough money to pick up his regular boots. Still a long ways off of Boots of Travel. We'll see. Keep an eye on that to see how quickly he can get that. The faster he's able to get Boots of Travel, the more pressure he's able to exert on the map. Try and take some of the farming space away from this anti-mage as quickly as possible. As well as keeping lanes pushed so that when they want to rotate around and get some tower kills, it'll be as easy as possible. Link doing pretty decent on farm on the bottom lane. Actually has passed Anti-Mage in terms of last hits. Just because Anti-Mage has had a little bit more trouble keeping the lane where he wants it. Just because Funzy on the Nature's Prophet has been pulling creeps around with his Treant, spawning them, getting the aggro, wandering them into the tower repeatedly. And Link getting all the farm he wants under his own tower because Nyx is just pulling constantly. He's up to level 3 now, still quite a ways away from level 6. What's Enigma doing? Up to level 6, has his Soul Ring finished. Catches a Haste Rune in the bottom lane. He's going to get it this time. We'll be able to run away, and we get to see Enigma's sweet haste animation. Looks like he might want to go for a kill on Gyrocopter. Surprised he didn't try and get a couple hits on that courier there. It was just standing there and didn't have the haste on. Might have been able to snipe off a quick courier kill, but decides to just harass Fada a little bit, maybe force him back to base. Did have a salve though, and he was bottle crowing at the time. Looks like Sox in the middle lane, continuing to just bottle crow away. Fungi trying to stand in experience range. Vengeful Spirit is coming around though, might run into him. Looks like Alex is kind of forced to give it up. Doesn't really know where Funzi is. Funzi's trying to stay in experience range. Acts up to level 7, so his farming is going pretty quickly. He has 1500 gold. Hasn't bought anything yet, so we're probably seeing him just rush Blink Dagger here. This is possible he could go for something else, depending on what he really feels like, but I would be pretty surprised not just think the Blink Dagger quickly wasn't worth it. So that he can get in these fights and try and set up some kills in this relatively actionless game. Like, both teams just content to farm. And Mouse definitely need to farm on that anti-mage in particular to try and get him going as quickly as possible. If DD's lineup comes online much quicker, and they might be able to just go for a kill here in the middle lane. Buckingman is smoked up at the moment. Does have his ultimate off cooldown. See if he wants to use it. Looks like Crit is also smoked up on his Nyx Assassin. He's only level 3, however. And Fata coming into this middle lane. Drops the call down, but gonna get caught out now. And looks like he will go down. First blood going the way of Tinker. In the middle lane, so good rotation there from DD. Gyrocopter just trying to use the call down to get some farm and harass, and ends up overextending a little bit, getting punished for it by the Smoke King. Coming out from DD.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Not sure why Radiant structures were just fortified. Seems like that might have been a mistake. None of their towers were really being pressured at all. And this tower, top and bottom, actually didn't even have a creep wave anywhere near it. Trigger Boots and Drums up on Link now. We'll see if he goes for the Yasha or just decides to rush for the BKB. If he goes for some items before the BKB, it'll be a sign that they're willing to wait a little bit longer before they really want a 5-man. And they probably have the space for it, considering exactly who they're laying against. Pos trying to surge away. Nyx Assassin gonna get that last hit though. With the Lucid Beam coming out from Link, just to slow mini stun him, prevent him from getting quite as far away. And another kill, quickly going the way of DD.
Radiant's top tower
Sox
is
getting
under attack.
closer and closer to his boots of travel. Only about 300 gold away at this point. Has March of the Machines max. We'll probably see him get a point in the rearm next level because he will have the boots of travel relatively soon, and he's going to want to have the March of Machines around that same time, or excuse me, rearm around that same time, so we can start rearming. Looks like they were going for a gank on Black in the top lane. He's going to get forced back. Black heading behind the tower to try and cut off the creep wave, set up this tower push. However, Enigma is there. Still has the Black Hole off cooldown. And it looks like he's buying his treads. Has enough money for it. We'll see if he picks them up soon. Funzi still doesn't really have anything picked up. He has kind of been forced to sacrifice his farm in this off lane. He's tried to move around a little bit and be involved in the other lanes since he can't do too much up here against the anti-mage with the Vengeful Spirit support. Blink Dagger is picked up on Kurikai now, which is pretty much what would be expected here. We'll see if he tries to get some kills, utilize this dagger as soon as possible. Otherwise, kind of weird that he would bother even picking it up if he's just going to continue jungling. Looks like he's stacking there. See if he tries to blink on Funzi. Doesn't quite. Just to content to stand the creep wave and spin it a little bit, kill some trees. And after that stack in the jungle, gonna go try and just kill it off. Black builds a Midas on his anti-mage. This is a pretty aggressive build. Really just going all in on the farm. Looks like DD are gonna start pushing now though. Starting to deal some damage to this tier 1 in the middle lane, or bottom lane, excuse me. It's gonna go down. Nyx Assassin gets that last hit, and Funzi ports in, which means they're gonna keep going. Mouse don't have a great lineup for really defending unless they get the axe down here, and he looks like he's content to just try and help push in this top lane. However, Tinker, porting in there, has his boots of travel now. He's going to start laying down these marching machines and spam rockets. And with that, it's going to be difficult for them to really push into this tower. Level 4 March of the Machines is pretty brutal as the game goes on, and it's pretty early, so it's doing a ton of damage by comparison to those health pools.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
DD content to just take the 2 towers in the bomb lane, gonna just let themselves be forced back. 1300 gold up on the Luna still, hasn't bought anything with it. Looks like they're gonna farm these ancient stacks. That Darkseer is so nicely created for them. So it's gonna let a little bit more farm go the way of DD. Gyro calls down on the Roche pit, maybe thinking that they were going for it. Notice that their whole team was over there and started heading that way after pushing those two towers. However, DD content to just farm these ancients, steal a bunch of gold. Right out from under Mousesports. Take a quick look at the, I'll give it a minute so that we can let that update there. See how much they got from the stacks. But Tinker just porting around now, able to turtle, defend towers, but on his own. With these margin machines, as well as setting up this push now in the middle lane. And Mouse has a lot of heroes here, and they probably want to try and defend. Kurokai is on the edge of the fight. Not getting hit by the March yet. Gonna see if he blinks in. Runs in, actually. Looks like he's trying to go for it. Gets killed before he gets anything done. Double kill going the way of Link on the Luna with the Eclipse. Only level 1 Eclipse, but it does hit enough times that he's able to get that kill. Fada drops the call down, trying to get a kill, or at least slow his attackers down. Wisely using the Spike Carapace to try and stun Fada. However, it is only level 1, so he is able to just walk away before anything big happens to him. Only a very minor stun. So this tier 2 tower in a middle lane gonna just go down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So another 2 towers going away with DD in quick succession. 1,000 gold on the Nyx. He's up to level 6, so he does have that Vendetta now. See if he tries to use it, maybe to scout something out on Black. Black's up to 2,000 gold. And still has that Midas, so he's getting a ton of farm, but really needs to accelerate his farming even more if he wants to be relevant before his team gets completely cut out of the map. Farming these newly textured ogres. Looks like all of Moss's lineup is up in this top lane. They know where DD's at. They're going for these tier 1 and tier 2 in the top lane now. Just content to rotate around the map. We'll see if Axe can get into the fight a little bit more effectively this game. Blinks in, doesn't get caught by anyone, and Kurokai just goes down before he gets anything done. Once again. Black Hole not even having to be used in these fights. Fucking mad, gonna get hit by a... homing missile there from close range. Just gonna take a little bit of a stun, but not gonna stop him from doing anything. Now they're just gonna head back, catch up their creep wave, and go for this tier 2. Tinker teleports back to base, content to just heal up, port back in, lay down some March of the Machines. And Mouse completely forced back, not even attempting to defend this tier 2. That's going to be the last outer tower down, 15 minutes for them. DD just really executing this push strat pretty effectively. Wandering around the map, just consistently taking towers. And we'll see what they go for now if they're going to try and take high ground. It doesn't seem particularly likely at the moment. Kurokai does blink in. It looks like they will get a kill on Luna with this. Luna does go down. And Bucking Mad also taking a ton of damage. Has the mech up though. Able to survive as a result. But that does mean Luna goes down for nothing there. Fuzzy trying to summon a little bit more treants. Deals as much damage as possible to this tier 3 before getting out. He's getting caught by a homing missile, but he will port out. That means the homing missile is going to be flying across the entire map to catch up to him. He's got his Midas done, as well as 1,800 gold. Luna up to 3,800 gold. We'll see if she just buys a BKB upon respawn. Or wants to start going for maybe Yasha, or even a Manta, if she wants to go past the Yasha into the Manta style. Nothing really coming up on the side of Mouse. Black is getting closer and closer to his Battle Fury. Still has the Midas, so he will be getting lots of farm, but they have no towers left on the outside of the map. If DD can take high ground somewhere and just get one of these barracks down pretty quickly. It'll really start choking the anti-mage out. And this Battle Fury is not going to serve him too well if you can't get another item after it before the game ends. Luna does in fact pick up the BKB, which is pretty much what I figured would happen. With this, she's going to be very difficult to take out in those fights. Only has 2 points in the aura still, but putting some points in Moonglaive now just to get the bounces going. Lets her push a little bit faster, take out those towers, and deal with a lot of the collateral buildings in the base. Take a quick look at the experience in gold graphs. Experience about 1k in favor of DD. Gold up to almost 8 or 9k there. Probably about 8. Both in favor of DD. And the experience being close is kind of a testament to how long Black has had this Hand of Midas. We can take a quick look at hero level. He is the highest hero in the game. And a couple of his other heroes are doing pretty well in terms of level. But that Midas is letting Black get a ton of experience, and he's continuing to farm. Should be really. He does have his Battle Fury done now. So that's a 17.5 minute-ish Battle Fury after the Midas and Treads. It's doing pretty okay. Gonna blink away just to dodge that homing rocket. Heat-seeking rocket. Gonna farm up these treants. And then creeps. And DD wandering around a lot, not getting anything at the moment. If they catch out Kurikai, that might be the sign for them to go for the push. The stun misses though, and Kurikai blinks away. Oh, just barely able to teleport before the Lucent Beam hits, so that gank fails from DD. And a lot of time wasted by them running around the jungle, dire jungle. And all of this is time when Black is able to just farm his Mage. You gotta be concerned if you're DD that the longer this Black gets to farm the Mage, the harder the game is going to be for them to close out. If he gets big enough, they really don't have anyone farming on their team at this point. They have a lot of heroes that are moderately farmed because of all the heroes they've towers they've taken, and the couple team fights that they've sort of won. Sox might get caught out. Does have a blink dagger of his own now. And immediately gets ulted by Black. Trying to take out Sox here. Canceling the TP. Sox has a homing missile coming at him, but Kurikai is going to get picked off by the Eclipse. Fata taking a lot of damage as well. Going to get hit by a Lucent Beam. Fogging it for the moment. Let's see if Link catches. Does find him and doesn't get the Lucent Beam off again. Just like a little bit of hesitation, it seems like, before he actually casts it. You know, it has a pretty long cast animation, but I feel like he had time there. Maybe just didn't quite see him in time. Meantime, Funzy putting some pressure on this top tier 3 on his Nature's Prophet. Looks like Enigma going for the pipe. Pretty close to it now. About 200 gold away, it looks like. Sox wandering around, finds a DD. We're gonna bottle that and head back to base to heal up. Fada continuing to use Call Down to just farm creep waves. Not really anything going on except for DD finally deciding, hey, we should probably just go take Roche. We have pretty much entirely the entire map under control. We have all the towers. Mouse aren't in any position to really do anything. Alex scouts this out with a scream, but it's not going to do anything. Howl? It's a howl of terror? Wave. Wave of terror. Okay. And with that, there is an Aegis on Luna as well as the BKB. Still no Eclipse for about 60 seconds. We'll see if they decide to try and high ground without it. They are in a pretty decent position, but several of their heroes are in the bottom lane. Or these are the global heroes. So if Funzy were to just TP scroll back to base to get mana, and then use his global teleportability to come into the middle lane, we might be able to just go for this. Buckingham still hasn't used a black hole this game. If he gets a good black hole off, especially with this mech and pipe now, any fight will definitely just go their way. We have to be careful about the Venge. It's only level 1 swap, so it's pretty difficult to interrupt a black hole with it at the moment. You have to be pretty close to use a level 1 swap, and if you walk into the black hole, you just look really silly. Homing missile coming at Link. Gonna force him to just get out of tower range. It looks like they are gonna be able to kill the missile before it hits. Tinker porting back to base to fill back up. Pipe used. And there is no glyph, so it looks like it's gonna be able to get this tier 3. And Link gets that, or Nature's Prophet gets that last hit with some treants. Now Link able to just start chucking glaives into the base. They're gonna bounce around. Be a general nuisance to the team. And Kurikai with a good blink, and then there's a vacuum. He's doing a lot of damage with these spins. However, Eclipse does go off, as well as the black hole. It's going to lead to a death. Anfata, Kurikai goes down, Venge goes down as well. Black in the middle of the fight, trying to do as much damage as possible. Taking a lot of damage on his own, though. He's going to be able to blink out in time, but not going to be able to stop this push, at least not at the moment. Funzy buys back, ports back in as Nature's Prophet, and that's going to be those barracks down. I don't think Luna lost Aegis. Did not, in fact, lose Aegis. Funzy taking a bit of damage after the buyback from Axe. Link low on HP here. Doesn't need to lose the Aegis if he doesn't want to. Black getting picked off. Trying to go for the kill on Luna. Ends up getting picked off. Luna gonna be able to walk away now with like no health. So conserving the Aegis. So they'll be able to use that again. And it's still about 3.5 minutes till the Aegis gets reclaimed. They might be able to just go for another tower. Eclipse has a 90-second cooldown. Black Hole's going to be even longer, 130. So they won't be able to rely on those for the next fight, but they did get a lane. We're able to take the melee racks in that middle lane. That's going to put even more pressure on Mouse to get something done here. Black, for all of his firing, still isn't really able to do too much in these team fights. Doesn't have his Manta done yet. Does have the Yasha and 1500 gold, so he's getting closer and closer to having that done, and he'll be able to do even more damage in these fights. But if DD are able to push like pretty much right now, before he's able to get this up, it's going to be difficult for him to really do anything. And it looks like a lot of heroes from DD are coming up this bottom lane, so maybe you're thinking the same thing I am, and if they just go for this push right now, might be able to get something done and completely close Mouse out of this game. Tinker, in the meantime, gonna port from lane to lane, making sure everything stays pushed. So even if they kind of get stalled out here, they will be able to keep the creeps sort of heading towards their base. A lot of heroes from Mouse being up towards their jungle, trying to get this top wave pushing, but Tinker will be able to just port up there very quickly.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Try and put some pressure back on that creep wave. Ton of March Machine spam just coming through, keeping Mouse off this fight, and this tier 3 is going to go down. There's still no glyph, so it's going to go down before they can get anything done. Vacuum comes out, only hits on Link, and it looks like Alex is going to go down. Yep, Vengeful Spirit killed before the fight even begins, really. Call down being used by the Gyrocopter, trying to do some damage. Kurikai blinks in, and Black gets a pretty good ult off, but Black might go down here and does go down. Has no buyback this time, so pretty much going to be game. Still an Aegis on Link. Eclipse is on cooldown, but Black Hole will be up in 10 seconds, and everyone on Mouse is dead. No buybacks on any of their heroes. All the buybacks in the game, actually, on DD's side. And they're just going to go for tier 4s. So DD just being allowed to pick a full-on pushing strategy. Know that Mouse is really dependent on the 4 to protect 1 strat, where they want Black to just get farm all game. Black, even seeing that they were going for the full-on pushing strategy, decides to go for a really hard farming build. Knows that this is what he's been given. Monkey Mad doing the taunt Black Hole on the shrine just for good measure. And DD gonna take that pretty convincingly in 25 minutes. Davai, das Vadanya. Things in Russian being shouted. And here's a quick look at the scoreboard for you guys. Once again, my name is Knaz. Me casting these Starladder Starseries Season 5 games for you for the next few days. And I'm going to take a quick break while waiting for the next game to get started. Thanks for watching, and I will be right back.